She, Satya is another consort of Lord Krishna. And Shachi is the wife of Indra. Rukmini is another consort of Krishna in Dwarka Leela. So he says all of these are Radhika Avatar Sabha, Amanayavani. These are all incarnation of Shri Radhika. Now, of course, we understand Lakshmi, Satya, or Rukmini. That can be understood. But how is Uma and Shachi? They are considered incarnation of Shri Radhika. So, this is explained by Uddhava in Garga Samhita. Uddhava is glorifying Srimati Radharani. When Uddhava comes to visit Vrindavan, he is telling Srimati Radharani, hey Radhike, you are actually the eternal consort of Krishna. Whenever Krishna appears in any form, you are always there with him. So even when Krishna is manifesting as some vibhuti or guna avatara, you are always there with him. So there he mentions, when the Lord takes the form of Indra, you are there as wife as Sachi. When he takes the guna avatar, Brahma, you become Saraswati. When he takes the form of Lord Shiva, you become Uma, the Parvati, the eternal consort of Lord Shiva. So, Uma is also actually one of the incarnations, one of the expansions of Srimati Radhika, who comes to assist the Lord in his pastimes. Brahma Samhita says, Yastvendra Gopam Athavindram Aho Swakarma. From Indra to the smallest insect, all are bound by karma. But that is not the case with the incarnations of the Lord, which includes the Guna Avatar as well. So, Lord Shiva, being the Guna Avatar of Lord Krishna, in charge of Tamo Guna, he is beyond the karma. No karma is actually applicable to him. So his activities are also considered Leela. Just as Krishna's different forms appear, Krishna's different incarnations appear, that's Leela. Similarly, Krishna, when he appears as Guna Avatar, as Lord Shiva, his activities are also considered Leela. And his eternal consort, Uma Devi, she also assists him in his different pastimes. So Vaishnavas, they always see Lord Shiva as eternal servant of Krishna. And similarly, Shri Uma Devi, the wife of Lord Shiva, she is considered, one of her very many names is Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi means one who's a staunch worshipper of Vishnu. So since it's the time of Navaratras, I thought, let's discuss a little bit about the glories of this Uma Devi, Mother Durga, who is worshipped in 9 different forms. Of course, it is beyond the scope of today's evening's discussion to discuss all the 9 forms, but we'll try to highlight at least 1 or 2, depending on the time. But the significance of hearing the glories for people who are actually more in materialistic consciousness, means they are simply interested in receiving some material benedictions, that I should get some blessings of Mother Durga in the form of wealth, in the form of good progeny, good family, name, fame. They miss the real point. Because anything that is nature of material blessings is temporary, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you know, that ade antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. The material blessings or material enjoyment, it has beginning and it has an end. So it begins at certain time and it ends at certain time. It doesn't last forever. But less intelligent people, they generally are attracted to such blessings. And such blessings, they end up in being misfortunes, the cause of misfortunes. Because when such blessings come, a person becomes elated, becomes very happy. But when the term of that blessing is finished, the person becomes most miserable, unhappy. But when devotees or the Vaishnavas, practicing sadhakas, when they hear the glories of Lord Shiva and his wife, Mother Parvati, they simply seek one blessing, that may our devotion to Krishna becomes staunch and unflinching. Anything else will come in course of our karma, whatever our karma and our destiny is there, it will come, it will unfold. But when we are hearing the glories of Mother Parvati, Mother Durga, the only aspiration a devotee should be having is, by this I will develop unflinching devotion to Krishna. This is the only blessing I seek from Mother Durga. So Durga is worshipped in 9 different forms. Somebody can help me to go. Actually, I think we will not go through all the 9 forms. As I said, it will be beyond our scope of discussion. But the first and foremost form is the Mother Durga is worshipped as the daughter of mountains, Himavan. So the daughter of Himavan, she is worshipped as Shailaputri. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So Shailaputri means the daughter of mountain. We know from Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, the Puranas describe in much more detail. At the beginning of creation, Brahma, he didn't had, of course, Krishna gave him blessings to create, gave him the enlightenment how to create. But he needed the potency, the creative potency. And that creative potency is actually Mother Durga. She's the one who is in charge of, material existence. So Brahma actually begged from Shiva, his potency, that please give me your potency so that I can create. And Lord Shiva actually handed over that potency to Brahma. Later on, Brahma, because he had the son Daksha, whom he was very much affectionate to, he told Daksha, I am giving you that potency as your daughter. Because, in Vedic culture, giving your daughter to a worthy person is considered a great merit. Especially Kanyadan is considered a great merit. So Brahma was thinking, my son Daksha will have the opportunity to offer his daughter to Lord Shiva, who is actually his eternal consort, who had given that blessing, mercy to me so that I can employ her in the creative function. But he wanted that potency to be returned to Lord Shiva, who's actually appeared as Sati, the daughter of Daksha. So Brahma, right from the beginning, was anticipating that my son Daksha would be so fortunate to marry his daughter to Shiva. Because even Brahma worships Lord Shiva. He knows the glories of Lord Shiva. But the things don't really go as per our expectation. So Brahma was thinking my son Daksha would be actually, very fortunate having the Sati as his daughter, to whom he will hand over to Lord Shiva. So Brahma is known as Vidhi. Vidhi means Vidhata. He writes everyone's destiny. Okay. So although Mother Sati, she is above the jurisdiction of Brahma, but she agreed Brahma to write her destiny as well, that she should become the daughter of Daksha. So she agreed. No. But uh, Daksha, right from the beginning, when he saw first time Lord Shiva, he developed, and he had heard some of the instances of conflict between Brahma and Lord Shiva. The history goes even before the birth of Daksha. And one time Lord Brahma wanted Lord Shiva's help in creation. But Lord Shiva was sitting in meditation. He would not even open his eyes. He was enwrapped in meditation. And Brahma in the beginning had 5 heads. He was not 4-headed Brahma. He was 5-headed Brahma. So he was thinking how to bring Lord Shiva out of meditation. And he knows Shiva is actually a great Vaishnava. He cannot tolerate blasphemy of the Vedas. Essentially, one of the offenses to the holy name is to blaspheme the Vedas or scriptures which are in the pursuance of the Vedas. So a devotee should not tolerate that blasphemy. People, when they criticize Vedas or the Vedic scriptures, it is not something worth hearing. So Brahma, in order to bring Lord Shiva out of meditation, from one of his mouths started criticizing the Vedas. The Vedas are useless. They should be burned away. Shouldn't exist. And Lord Shiva became very angry. Immediately picked up the trident. And the head which was, speaking this blasphemy, he chopped off that head with his trident. No. And of course, later on, Lord Shiva realized, oh, this was actually to bring him out of meditation. But still, it was not acceptable, to criticize the Vedas. So Brahma learned his lessons that he should not be blaspheming the Vedas, because Vedas are considered non-different from Lord Vishnu. Veda Narayana. So Vedas are considered non-different from Lord Narayana. So Vaishnava cannot tolerate criticism, and Lord Shiva cannot tolerate criticism of the Vedas. So anyway, Brahma realized his mistake, and he accepted that punishment from Lord Shiva, very respectfully. He did not retaliate or didn't criticize Lord Shiva at all. But Daksha heard this instance. He developed kind of grudge and anger on Lord Shiva. My father was punished by Shiva? Who is this Shiva? How can he punish my father? The father had no problem. The son developed problem. So he had a lot of resistance. And of course, Lord Brahma had made him in charge of the, Daksha was made in charge of the human society to create the rules and regulations by which human society could live. So Daksha also compiled Samhita for humanity to follow. And he expected Lord Shiva should also follow that. And just imagine Lord Shiva having snake around his neck as ornament. And he wears the garland of skulls and bones. And he smears the ashes. I mean, if you go to Mahakaleshwar temple, even till this day, anyone has been there? Mahakaleshwar temple in India? If you go there, till this day, the Shivalinga there, they bring fresh ashes from the cremation and offer it to Lord Mahadev. So Lord Shiva, in order to defy all the, arrogant people who think themselves to be very clean, very posh, very aristocratic, just to make mockery on them, he keeps himself like this. He smears his body from the cremation ashes, the bones and skulls, and lives in the cremation grounds. So Daksha couldn't appreciate. He thought Lord Shiva should also follow the rules that I have created for humanity. But he didn't know that even Brahma couldn't dare to instruct Lord Shiva. His own father would take the dust from Lord Shiva's feet and put on his head. But when people are become arrogant, they forget. They forget even the etiquette. They forget that even when the personalities who are worshipable for me, if they are maintaining silence on something, then I shouldn't, make a noise. If they are, apparently I see something wrong, but the people whom I worship, if they are, you know, tolerating it, then I should also be, trying to tolerate unless I'm asked to. So, uh, therefore, Daksha, he never wanted to offer his daughter to Lord Shiva in marriage, and it created a lot of misunderstanding between Lord Shiva and Daksha. Even after Brahma's insistence that he should offer his daughter to Lord Shiva, somehow or other, Daksha offered the daughter to Lord Shiva, but he was never happy at the heart. He continued to offend Lord Shiva in so many different ways. So much so that at some point of time, Mother Parvati, Mother Sati, you know, she actually had to give up her body. But before that, also, uh, some interesting incidents transpired. As Mother Sati, you know, she was married to Lord Shiva. One time, it was Treta Yuga, and Lord Ramachandra had appeared, and he was performing his pastimes on the earthly planet. And when the instance of Mother Sita being kidnapped by Ravana happened, and Lord Ramachandra is roaming throughout the forest, asking the trees, asking the animals, the deers and creepers. He's asking about his wife. Just imagine if somebody loses his wife nowadays, he'll go and at the most do police complaint, right? He won't go and ask the trees, "Did you see my wife?" Right? Lord Shiva Lord Ramachandra is actually going and asking the trees. In fact, there are almost 10 chapters in Ramayana. 10 chapters, not one or two. 10 chapters, lamentation of Lord Ramachandra. Going like a crazy person, asking trees, animals, creepers, "Have you seen my wife? Have you seen my wife?" No. So this is actually very bewildering. And Lord Shiva was offering repeated obeisances to Lord Ramachandra. "My dear Lord, your Leelas are inconceivable." So Sati thought, this seems to be an ordinary person. He's lamenting so much for his wife. Why my husband is offering? My husband, Lord Shiva, the Isha, he's offering obeisances to Ramachandra. So she developed some doubt. And she wanted to go and test. And Lord Shiva told her, "Don't try. He's my Lord. He's my worshipful Lord. Don't even try to test him." But she said, "No, I just want to go and check." Okay. Lord Shiva said, go ahead. So she took the form of Mother Sita and came in front of Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman. Now, if Mother Sati, who is actually the personification of material energy, she takes the form of Sita, nobody can really doubt. But as soon as she appeared in front of Lord Ramchandra, with folded hand, he said, "I offer my obeisance to the daughter of Daksha, the wife of Lord Mahadev. Mother, you are alone here. Where's your husband? Where is Mahadev?" Lord Ramchandra completely stopped lamentation, and spoke in a like a befitting prince from the Raghu dynasty. And Mother Sati felt so ashamed. She realized, oh, he's Lord. He's worshipful Lord, to whom even I worship. I was bewildered by his pastime, his leela. So she says, my Lord, please forgive me. Lord Ramchandra says, I forgive you, but I'm just worried about your husband. You should go and, reconcile with him. So Mother Sati, she returned, and Lord Shiva said, so did you go and test him? She said, no, I didn't test him. She was trying to hide now. But Lord Shiva is, of course, Isha. He can know everything. So he understood that she had taken the form of Sita, his worshipful goddess, his worshipful mother. So that time he actually told Sati that from today onwards I cannot give you the place on my left side because you took the form of my mother. So I cannot give you the place on my left side. The wife is generally considered Vamangi, sits on the left side of the husband. And that was so painful for Mother Sati. She realized that she did a great blunder. You know, it was almost like being rejected by Of course, Lord Shiva did not reject her. But according to Vedas, the worshipable lady like mothers or daughters or daughter-in-law, they should be sitting on the right-hand side. The wife should be sitting on the left-hand side. The left-hand side position should not be given to mother or sister or anyone else. So, Lord Shiva refused to give her the position of Vamangi. And that was so painful for Mother Sati. And the repeated disrespect of Daksha on Lord Shiva and Mother Sati also. After especially marriage, he started even disrespecting Sati also. So Mother Sati, she couldn't bear that. And she gave up her body. Of course, this is described in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam. And after she disappeared, after she gave up her body, Lord Shiva actually went, in a trance for some time. He was actually carrying the body of Mother Sati and going around. And Lord Vishnu had to actually send Sudarshan Chakra to cut the body of Sati in pieces, which actually fell in 51 different places. So they are Shakti Pithas, 51 Shakti Pithas all over, India. And then Lord Shiva went again into meditation, in tapasya. And before even the marriage with Sati, Lord Shiva had given a benediction to a particular demon named Tarakasura. Tarakasura said, my dear Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was pleased and he said, okay, ask any boon. He said, I want to be immortal. Lord Shiva said, you cannot be immortal. Everybody must die in this world. That's the rule. So you choose your death. And that time Lord Shiva was living as a mendicant, as a sannyasi, performing tapasya. So he said, okay, if I have to die, let me die at the hands of your son. And Lord Shiva said, all right. So Lord Shiva was in meditation for a long time, and after great deal, he was married to Sati, and without having a child, Sati died. So demigods were actually so restless that we were expecting a child, that Lord Shiva will have a child, and the child will kill this Tarakasura, who are the nuisance to the whole creation. But Tarakasura had good luck, So Mother Sati, she, before having child, she left her body. But this time, Mother Sati, she did not agree Brahma to write her destiny. She chose, who will be my father? She didn't want to have similar mistake, that I have a similar father like Daksha and again be in trouble. So she herself chose a great Vaishnava who was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, but he was a perfect gentleman without having any offensive mentality towards any of the devas. And that was Himavan. So Mother Sati, she chose Himavan to be her father. And therefore she appeared as Shailaputri. So, uh, she is worshipped on the very first day of Navaratri as Shailaputri. And of course, right from the beginning, she expressed her devotion to Lord Shiva, you know, that she wanted to marry Lord Shiva only. Of course, she is Vaishnavi, she is worshipping Vishnu, but she expressed her desire that she will marry only Lord Shiva. So, uh, Himavan and his wife Meena, they both were concerned that our daughter, how she'll be able to marry Shiva? Lord Shiva is always sitting in meditation. It'll be very, very difficult. But Mother Parvati, you know, she performed severe austerities. As a brahmacharini, as a celibate, she actually went to Himalayas, where Lord Shiva was actually performing tapasya. She went there and started performing similar tapasya and austerities what Lord Shiva was doing. Strictly, you know, controlling her mind and senses. She was worshipping day and night. She was engaged in performing austerities. But the demigods were getting really restless because Mother Parvati went on performing tapasya for thousands of years. It was not that within 2-3 years she pleased Lord Shiva. She was performing tapasya for thousands of years. And demigods were getting restless. So Indra sent Kamadev with Rati to allure Lord Shiva. So when Kamadev came and he was trying to shoot arrows of lust, of Kama at Lord Shiva, in great anger, burned Kamadev to ashes. It was kind of a great defeat for demigods. They sent Kamadev to assist Mother Parvati so that Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva can get married, so that they can have a child who could rescue the demigod from Tarakasura's nuisance. But the demigods were greatly morose. But Mother Parvati, she did not become morose. She did not lose hope. In fact, her devotion and her determination actually enhanced. A person who can burn Kamadev to ashes, who can be better than such a person to accept as a husband? Right? So Mother Parvati had great determination. So she continued to perform tapasya. But while she is doing tapasya, one of the demons, I'm forgetting his name, he attacked on Mother Parvati. He brought millions of demoniac soldiers. And Mother Parvati was almost toward the end of her, phase of tapasya. So she cannot even lift the weapon and kill him. Of course, she is the daughter of Himavan, so she's capable of even fighting, giving a battle. But she cannot, because she has taken the vow, she has taken vrata of doing tapasya, so she cannot fight a battle. So she, seeing her helpless condition, Mother Lakshmi and Saraswati, they both came and they fought with the demons, but they were being outnumbered by the demons. So Mother Parvati, she is brahmacharini. She has this kamandalu, which was always with her. Brahmacharis or sannyasis, they always have kamandalu in one hand. So she was having this kamandalu in which there was the water. So somehow this kamandalu spilled, and the water that spilled from their kamandalu, from the water pot, it created the flood which actually washed away most of the demons. And very few were left. And by this time, Mother Parvati finished her, tapasya, and simply by glance, she actually burned the remaining demons to ashes. The Lord Shiva was very much satisfied with the austerities of Mother Parvati. So One time he came in a disguise as a Brahmana, and he was trying to dissuade Mother Parvati that, Lord Shiva, not a fit person for you to be married to. You are a daughter of Himan. You are, such a beautiful princess. And he's mostly filthy, always having crematorium ashes on his body, wearing the bones and skulls as his ornaments. You know. He's having snakes for his ornaments. You don't want to marry such a person. Mother Parvati, she didn't buy into any of that. She just continued. Finally, Lord Shiva was very much satisfied, and he wanted to. He also wanted to marry Mother, Parvati. So he came in the disguise as a dwarfed Brahmana boy. Not Brahman actually, a very ugly looking dwarfed boy, Brahmachari. So he was a Brahmachari, but he was a very small in stature and very ugly looking. He came to Mother Parvati and he said, I want to marry you. Will you marry me? And Mother Parvati, because she was performing severe austerities and she had developed, a tremendous love for Lord Shiva, she could easily recognize him, that this is Lord Shiva. And she said, yes, of course, I will marry you. But I belong to my father. So you have to go and ask my father. So if he gives permission, then yes, I will marry you. So Lord Shiva, as a dwarfed boy, very ugly looking boy, he went to Himavan. And he told Himavan, I want to marry your daughter. And Himavan also could recognize him, that he's Lord Shiva. He said, my lord, I don't mind, but I'm going to perform the swamvar for my daughter. If she chooses you, I have no problem. So Lord Shiva comes back and he tells this Parvati that your father said like this. I think you both are trying to, avoid me. You're telling that I should ask your father. Your father is saying he will perform swamvar and you choose. So it looks like you don't want to marry me. She said, no, of course I want to marry you. Lord Shiva still disguised as a dwarf only. So Mother Parvati said, if you have a doubt, I accept you right here as my husband. So there was the Ashoka tree. Mother Parvati, she took a branch of Ashoka tree which was filled with flowers and she put on the shoulder of Lord Shiva as a garland. She said, I accept you right now as my husband. And Lord Shiva, then he came to his real form and was very pleased. And he gave benediction to the Ashoka tree. He said, I give benediction to this tree whose branch you have used to, confirm that you are choosing me as your husband. And Lord Shiva gave many, many benedictions to the Ashoka tree. So this is the form of Mother Parvati as Brahmacharini. Then I believe is Kushmanda. And can somebody look at? Chandraghanta and then Kushmanda. Chandraghanta is and Kushmanda. These are two forms of Mother Parvati which are believed to be if somebody worships. Chandraghanta is, she's wearing a ornament of Chandra, half moon, just like Lord Shiva, she's wearing in the form of a bell. It's actually Chandra, but it's in the bell also. So she's wearing that on her forehead, Chandraghanta. Therefore, she's called Chandraghanta. And Kushmanda, she's also worshipped as Kushmanda. As Ku refers to Kuchit. Kuchit means little, and Ushma means heat or warmth, and Anda is the cosmic egg. This Brahmanda is referring to that. So one who nurtures the whole Brahmanda with the warmth, little bit of her warmth, as a mother. You see, when the female birds, they sit on the eggs and they pass their heat to nurture the baby inside the anda. So similarly, Mother Parvati, she is the mother who nurtures the entire Brahmanda with her warmth, with her protection and love. You know. Because every living entity within the universe is more or less her child. So, so as a loving mother, she nurtures every living entity. Of course, along with nurturing, she also uh, creates situation in the life of every living entity throughout the universe to turn to Lord Vishnu. So, people who think that by worshipping Mother Durga, I will have a lot of wealth, lot of blessings, good family, good children, they are illusion. Because Mother Parvati, her only function, her only job in this whole creation is to make everyone utterly frustrated in the material life. That's her job. She's not here to bless everyone to have nice materialistic life, continue living in this, because this is not the place we belong to. We belong to the spiritual world. This is like a prison house. So her duty as a loving mother is to inspire everyone to get out of this material existence. So she makes sufficient and perfect arrangements in everyone's life. No matter who you are, she makes arrangement to make everyone frustrated. Can anyone look after which was the fifth one and sixth one? Huh? Skandamata. Of course, that's a very elaborate pastime, so I won't go into the details, but uh, fourth one is Kushmanda. Kushmanda. Ku, third. Second was Brahmacharini. Yeah. So Shailaputri, Brahmacharini, Chandraghanta, and Kushmanda. So fifth one is Skandamata. Of course, the pastime of Skanda being born is actually very, very uh, elaborate and very detailed. But when Lord Shiva burned the Kamadev to ashes, that time Rati actually gave curse that Parvati will never be able to bear a child. Just imagine. They were sent so that Lord Shiva and Parvati can, get married and have a child. And she ends up in cursing that Parvati will never be able to have a child. So now back to square one, where they started. So even if Mother Parvati gets married to Lord Shiva, she cannot have a child in her womb. So of course, then Kritika, they were actually great devotees of Lord Shiva. There were 6 Kritikas. Like there are Matrikas who are devotees of Lord Vishnu. There were 6 Kritikas who are actually great devotees of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva's Oja was actually carried by Agni and deposited into these 6 Kritikas, who gave birth to 6 children. And all the 6 children combine into one with 6 heads. Therefore, you see, Kartikeya is said to be having 6 heads. So, um, but because that Oja belongs originally to Mother Parvati, so Skanda, though taking birth in the Kritikas, is still considered the son of Mother Parvati. So therefore she is known as Skandamata. And of course, Skanda, because Kartikeya, he grew up with Kritikas, he considered them as mothers. He had great difficulty. There was a lot of turmoil in the life of Mother Parvati, and also Kartikeya to accept Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva as their parents. But uh, but nevertheless, Mother Parvati, she is considered as Skandamata. And sixth one is Katyayani. Mother Katyayani is the form of Mother Durga, which is also worshipped by gopis, right? Gopis worshipped Katyayani Devi. It is said that if somebody worships Lord Shiva, especially if somebody worships Lord Shiva, men, they worship Lord Shiva, they will have a good wife. And if somebody worships Katyayani Devi, Mother Durga, the ladies, they will have a good husband. So the gopis, they actually worshipped Katyayani Devi because Mother Durga is also, or Mother Parvati, she is also considered a sister of Lord Vishnu. In the material world, she is known as, Bhadra, but the same Bhadra in the spiritual world is known as Subhadra. And I think next one is Kalaratri. Okay. This is very interesting. That one form of Mother Parvati is not something very much appreciated by people, especially in the mode of passion and ignorance. Tamasic people, they worship this form of Mother Parvati. Kalaratri. She is also worshipped as Chandika or Kali, same form of Kalaratri. So the history goes, one time Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, they were in a very jolly mood in the family, just like husband wife, sometimes they're in jolly mood. So Mother Parvati, she covered the eyes of Lord Shiva in playful mood. Now Lord Shiva's, he is, his eyes are also full of, Oja, Teja. So as soon as she covered the eyes of Lord Shiva, the the warmth of Lord Shiva's body, because she's touching the hands on the eyes of Lord Shiva, that created perspiration on Mother Parvati's hands. And the perspiration drops fell down and took the form of a child. Okay. So this child, because he was born when Lord Shiva was blindfolded, the child was born blind. And he was known by the name Andhaka. And Lord Shiva, he handed over this Andhaka because Hiranyaksha, I believe this is the brother of Hiranyakashipu, the same Hiranyaksha, he didn't had any child in the beginning, so he adopted this Andhaka. But of course, later on, Hiranyaksha had many, many children. But Andhaka was considered the eldest child. Okay. And the other children of Hiranyaksha, they were always deriding Andhaka. Because he was blind. So they used to make fun of him. They would insult him. And they would also bully him. And because he was blind, he couldn't do anything. He developed grudge. He wanted to be powerful. Even as a blind, he wanted to be powerful. So he understood from his, family tradition that if you want to be powerful, you have to perform tapasya. So he went and performed severe austerities to please Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma, he was very much satisfied, very much happy with Andhaka's austerities. Andhaka performed austerities for many, many thousand years. And when he was, his austerities matured, Lord Brahma appeared. And he told Andhaka, ask what your benediction you want. Should I restore your eyesight? But Andhaka had developed so much, because his brothers made so much fun of him as a blind person. He developed aversion to light. He said, no, I don't want my eyesight to be restored. I want to remain as a blind. You see, Andhaka is considered one of the very famous demons in the Puranas, Puranic history, you'll find his name coming very often. He developed liking towards darkness. He didn't wanted illumination in his life. Now, of course, somebody may say, well, because his brothers made so much fun of him, it's natural to develop grudge and develop liking like that. But it's not that somebody makes fun of you, therefore you develop liking towards darkness. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srajate prabhu. It's not that other people induce you to do something. No. Swabhavastu pravartati. Everybody engages or performs the activities because of their swabhava. So, Andhaka had that inherent swabhava, liking towards darkness. So he told Brahma, no, I don't want my eyesight to be restored. But in spite of being blind, I should be powerful and not deprived of, seeing. Even though I'm blind, but I should be able to fully function as a person with eyes. That means he cannot see, but he can perceive everything. And of course, Lord Brahma gave him his cherished benedictions. So he became so powerful. He subdued his brothers. He subdued practically everyone, including Indra. Because whenever demons become powerful, first target is Indra. Other day we were discussing, that, Diti was actually holding Indra responsible for the death of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. She speaks this word that Indra, by the means of Vishnu, has killed my two sons. Although Indra had actually nothing to do. Indra was being tormented by these two, brothers. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, they tormented Indra and all the demigods so much. And still, Krishna did not appear as Narasimhadev. So it was not because of Indra or other demigods Lord Krishna appeared. It was only when Hiranyakashipu was trying to torment or kill Prahlad that Krishna appeared as Narasimhadev and killed him. So if anyone is to be blamed, it's Prahlad, But Diti is blaming Indra. Why? Because Indra is the one who is most benefited when Hiranyakashipu is killed. He gets his kingdom back. So if you are a beneficiary in some situation, you also become the scapegoat, to be blamed. Whenever you get any benefit, people try to blame you also. So, Andhaka, he actually conquered all the demigods. He had, but of course, because he performed severe austerities, he also wanted to conquer the death. So he told Brahma, I want also to be immortal. But Brahma said, you cannot be immortal. You choose the death you want. So Andhaka was having perfect control over his senses. And he was very respectful to women. All the women he was very respectful to. So he told Brahma, okay, the day I start lusting after my own mother, then I should die. Now, Andhaka, he was very respectful because he had control over his senses. He was always respectful to women. And he considered Hiranyaksha's wife as his mother. So he thought, he'll never be lustful after his mother. Okay. So Brahma said, Tathastu. When you become lustful to a woman who is like your mother, then you will die. So Andhaka continued to rule. And one day when he was in the Himalayas, Mother Parvati, because she knows he's my son, so she felt affection. She wanted to go and see her son. So she came to see Andhaka, And Andhaka, because he is blind, but still, because he got the benediction from Brahma, he can perceive everything. So, simply by the movements of Parvati, he could understand there is some extremely beautiful woman around. Now, one may think, how can he understand this beautiful woman? Actually, in Shiv Puran, there is descriptions of uh, dramatic performance, how you perform the dramas, right? Of course, that science is more or less lost nowadays. No. But Shiv Puran describes, especially if you want to perform any dramatic performance, how people should perform the dramatic acting. Like, for example, if a particular scene in dramas is supposed to depict a woman from a prestigious family, so simply by the behavior of the woman, you know that this woman is actually from some very cultured and decent and aristocratic family. Similarly, in some drama, a woman is playing the role of a prostitute. So her behavior would indicate that she's actually a prostitute. How she laughs, how she smiles, or how she talks, everything actually indicates the behavior of the person. Similarly, a man, if he's a cultured man, or if he's a debauchee, if he's a low class person, simply by the talk, the way person looks at others, the way person speaks, from that you can understand how cultured. Like, you will generally hear uh, the demonesses when, like, Surpankha comes to Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman and Sita. When she's laughing, she'll say, ha 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 ha. But when say gopis, they are laughing, they will actually cover their mouth, and they, even if they have you know reason for loud laughter, they would actually cover their mouth, and they will laugh like that. you know. So Andhaka was expert because he was deprived of the eyes. He was expert in that science. So simply by hearing the gesture, bodily gestures, he could understand there is some very, very, you know, exalted and very beautiful woman around. And he developed the desire to possess her as a wife. And of course, he got to know that she's actually wife of Lord Shiva. And that's the time he understood who Lord Shiva is. So he sent a messenger to Lord Shiva that hand over your wife Parvati to me. Otherwise, I'll come and kill you, because he was such a powerful. Even Indra couldn't stand in front of him. So he thought, who will be more powerful than Indra? So his downfall actually began there. So he actually also had one benediction. On the battlefield, even a drop of blood fell from his body, that will create another Andhaka. So Andhaka rages a war with Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva actually is having war, in a very ferocious battle. Lord Shiva, every time he creates a wound on the body of Andhaka, every drop of blood falls to the ground, it creates another Andhaka. So it's like creating, every time Lord Shiva is hurting, Andhaka is creating another army. So many Andhakas are created, and they are equally powerful, like Andhaka. So Lord Shiva is thinking now how to deal with this situation. And that's when Mother Parvati intervenes. She appeared as this Kali, Kalaratri, very ferocious form, holding different weapons she had many, many arms, holding different weapons, and specifically wearing the garland of, like Lord Shiva, only wearing the garland of skulls and bones, completely dark in complexion. Like Mother Parvati is very golden and very beautiful in complexion. Mother Kali is completely dark, in complexion, you know, very ferocious looking, unbearably to even look at her. And with different weapons, in one hand she is holding a bowl. So all the andhakas who are created, every andhaka who is created, even if the blood is drawn from their body, it falls to the ground, it will create another andhaka. So just imagine, demons are so innovative in, seeking benedictions sometimes. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dushkriti, Kriti Prabhupada says is meritorious word. So they are really innovative, you know. But Mother Parvati was more innovative. She appeared with a bowl and chopper. So she goes, she kills every andhak and makes sure not a drop of blood falls to the ground. She collects all the blood in the bowl and keeps drinking that. So in this way, she finishes all the andhaka's army like that. That is Kalaratri. And then of course, finally Lord Shiva kills the andhaka, There's a great battle, and first he forgives Andhaka, but then Andhaka again, does the same thing of trying to kidnap Mother Parvati, and along with Mother Parvati, she also tries to kidnap Lakshmi and Saraswati as well. So Lord Shiva says enough. So he kills him with his trident. So this form of Mother Kalaratri is very significant. It destroys this demoniac tendency. Now one may think Andhaka was really a lowly demon in one way. He wanted to enjoy his mother, but that same andhaka tendency is there in each and every living entity. Because every time we try to engage in sense gratification, because this body is created by Mother Durga. This is the tool given by Mother Durga to us. Every time we try to indulge in sense gratification, it actually, we are exhibiting same andhaka tendency. When we use the body in service of Krishna, that is devotional service. But every time we engage in sense gratification in any form, this rasgulla is so delicious, I want to enjoy it. Even that simple form of enjoyment is nothing but andhaka tendency. Any form of sense gratification, any form, is more or less trying to enjoy Mother Nature. So, the purpose of our sadhana bhakti is to rise above all the tendencies of sense enjoyment and develop unflinching devotion to Krishna. That is actually the truly becoming free from the andhaka-like tendencies. So Kalarati, what is the next one? Mahagauri and then Siddhidatri. So Mahagauri and Siddhidatri, these are actually two forms somehow that I haven't, come across much in my studies, but I know there are some benedictions related to worshipping those two forms as well. But the purpose of this Navaratri is actually to worship Mother Durga. Vaishnavas may also worship Mother Durga, but with the intention that, Mother, please free me from all the tendencies which are keeping me bound in this material existence. Let me develop genuine devotion unto the feet of Lord Hari. Just like Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati have genuine devotion, let us also develop similar devotion. Now, some people may not be ready for that, but even if you worship Mother Durga with simple prayer, that I am not very intelligent, I don't know what to ask from you, You give me what you think is best. And then you see what Mother Durga gives. Let her decide what is the best, you know. So if anyone worships, Mother Durga during Navaratris, ask this prayer: Mother, please give me whatever you think is the best. You give me that. That's a very intelligent prayer. If you really worship some personality thinking that they are intelligent, they are definitely intelligent than me, then let them decide what is best for you. So I think with this we will uh, end discussion here. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. First of all, very beautiful narration. So it enables us to enter Navaratri with the right mode and also appreciate some of the stories that we heard. So that's very beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
I have two questions. The simpler question is, we hear from Bhagavatam that there were two Dakshas. The first one,
Son of
Sati,
Brahma,
son of Brahma.
who was father of Sati, and the other one
So
is son of Prachetas.
Prachetas. So the first one happened, I mean, the Chaturayugas keep happening again and again. So there was another Ramachandra. It's not the Ramachandra of Chakshusha Manvantara, but another Ramachandra.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
So yes, Daksha's episode happened in the first Manvantara during Swayambhu Manu's time. Okay, so Sati also appeared during that time. So it was millions and millions of years ago, not very few, because this is seventh Manvantara going on. This was in first Manvantara. Sati appeared in the first Manvantara, and then Daksha, because he got the goat head, he didn't like it, so he gave up his body, and in the sixth Manvantara, as Chakshusha Manvantara, he appeared as son of Prachetas.
Thank you, Proj. The second question I have is, you mentioned again the second canto and third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear about the creation and sub-creation. There is not much mention of the potency given to Brahma through Shiva. Usually we only hear Brahma was created and then he looked for his source every day of his life. Then he created four Kumaras and they said, we don't want to get married. So he became angry in his mind. So Lord Shiva appeared as a blue reddish boy. So can you please connect these two dots that you mentioned earlier, that Lord Shiva, Brahma asked Lord Shiva to give the creative potency so he could create. If you can please connect those.
Yes. So we hear that Lord Mahavishnu, he glances on Prakriti, and that's how the creation takes place. Right? All the universes are created simply by Lord Mahavishnu glancing on Prakriti. But then, of course, we can say Mahavishnu glanced and creation took place. But between that whole process is the Brahmandas come in place. Garbhodakshai enters into the universes. Brahma comes from the lotus, the navel, the lotus that comes from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then Brahma performs tapasya, and then he receives the darshan of Lord, Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu blesses him to perform the task of creation. But the task of creation is also not that Brahma can do directly or create directly. Okay, he has to go through the channels. So that is where Lord Brahma seeks the what do you call blessings or assistance from Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva also, he told, right, to create. Lord Shiva was creating all the ghostly and ferocious beings, and he said, "Oh, please, you stop. You don't create." So that's, he says, "Okay, hand over me the potency. I will create. Okay, you perform tapasya now." So he accepts the potency from Lord Shiva, And then he delivers that potency to Daksha as his daughter. Yeah. So without, and actually, this is in Markandeya Purana also is there. We know Madhu and Kaitava, two demons, right? So Madhu, Kaitava, they were killed by Lord Vishnu. So Markandeya Purana explains that Lord Vishnu, he was sleeping, and from the, like sometime we have some, when you get up in the morning, some dirt in the ear, right? You put the earbuds and remove the dirt. So Lord Vishnu, when he's sleeping, from the dirt, ear dirt of Lord Vishnu appeared the two demons. From one appeared Madhu, other Kaitaba. Two demons, they were Vishnu Karna Malodbhutam. They were actually born from the Mala of Lord Vishnu's Karna. And they were so powerful. They went to devour Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, he turned to Lord Vishnu, but Lord Vishnu was sleeping. Now, whom to go? Says, please, my Lord, get up. Lord Vishnu is not getting up. So then he prays to Mother Parvati because she serves Lord Vishnu as Yoga Nidra. So she enters into the eyes of Vishnu as Nidra. So he prays to her. This is the prayers are there in Markandeya Puran. He says, Mother, please wake up. Please come out from the eyes of Vishnu and let him wake up. So he's offering prayers to Mother, Parvati, Mother Durga, that please, And Srila Prabhupada actually quotes that also in some of his lectures. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Samsita. So same mother, she enters into each and every living entity as Nidra. Then only we are able to sleep. If she doesn't enter in as Nidra, you cannot even sleep. So, similarly, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shudha Rupena Samsita. Shudha means hunger. Even hunger is nothing but Mother Durga. She enters in our body as Shudha, as hunger. So, the details may not be there in Srimad Bhagavatam alone. They're in different Puranas. So, yes, then Lord Vishnu, Mother, Durga came out from the eyes of Lord Vishnu as Yoga Nidra, and then Vishnu opened the eyes. And then he, of course, killed the Madhu and Kaitava demon and protected Brahma. So, in between, there is the role of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. Whenever there is creation or different thing happen, there's a very intricate role of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. In fact, they are the immediate father and mother for all the living entities. Ultimate father and mother is Krishna and Srimati Radhika, but immediate father and mother are Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati for all the living entities in the material world.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Really. Yes, bro. You had a question.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So you mentioned about uh, Lord Sati setting fire to her body, and then later on Lord Shiva cutting her body into pieces. So we know that Durga Devi is the spiritual potency of the Lord. For devotees, she acts as Yoga Maya to help them progress, and for the demonic, she will act as Mahamaya. She is the same person. So how can she have something, a body, uh, which which appears to be gross, and it can be cut into pieces, and yeah, so that I'm not able to understand.
Well, that's a good question, Mati. Achinta khalau ye bhava natam statkena yojayit. Anything that is achinta by nature, it cannot be understood by our logic. So yes, Mother Sati has not a material body like us. So even though her body was burned, but still it was intact. Therefore, Lord Shiva was carrying that body. Okay. And then Lord Vishnu sent Sudarshan Chakra because Lord Shiva is so much, in separation from Mother Sati that he's not able to function. He's feeling overwhelmed with the grief. So Lord Vishnu sends Sudarshan Chakra to cut the body of Sati into pieces. And those pieces you can actually see in go to Shakti Pithas. They are nothing but the stones. They appear to be stones, but they are, not ordinary stones. They are the body of Mother Sati, and therefore they are called Shakti Pithas. They are actually very, very potent places. If somebody goes and worship those in those temples, Mother Sati, Mother Durga, they actually receive immense benedictions. And generally demonic beings, they prefer to worship her to get some powers, the material powers. But that body is not, like our body. This actually divine body, and therefore even though it is cut to pieces, still those pieces are very powerful, the source of blessings of Mother Durga. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Prabhu, please go ahead.
So, Prabhuji, two
Please
questions.
let me know when we need to stop, Prabhu. It's 8:48.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
two quick questions, Prabhu. First question, uh, after coming to Krishna consciousness, we understand that putting the one-stop solution to birth, death, old age, this is the ultimate thing. And while we are gradually endeavoring to progress on this gradual process of Krishna consciousness to become pure devotee, while we are aspiring for unalloyed devotional service, we still be having material hankerings or discomforts that we want to get rid of. So, and we work so hard, like pleasing our boss or getting home. And so while doing this, we are using our own endeavor. So is it wrong to ask demigods or as a servant of Krishna or ask Krishna when Krishna says Artho, Artharthi, four type of people, Chaturvida. So can I know like you were mentioning that our only aspiration should be to give me unalloyed devotion service, unflinching devotion service. But while we are not there, while material things are bothering us, and while we are suffering, and that anxiety is taking a lot of our time, which would otherwise be engaged in Krishna service. So can we ask for that too?
Very good question, Prabhu. I have many other people ask this question to me. Well, just imagine Shrimad Bhagavatam, one of the beautiful episode we have of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj had material desire. He wanted the kingdom which is better than his father or his grandfather or great grandfather as well. Even Brahma's kingdom should not be matching to his kingdom. So that was his aspiration. It's a material aspiration. And Narad, when he tried to explain him, why you are so much worried, why you are getting so insulted and all. Narad Muni gave him spiritual instruction and he rejected those. Right? Now just imagine if he would have accepted the instruction of Narad Muni and given up the material aspirations, then we will not have the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. Right? So the very fact that if somebody has material aspirations and practicing Krishna consciousness, sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness, but has material aspirations, it's okay. You may continue to have that aspiration. Krishna will eventually purify you. He will fulfill the desire and also purify you. But a devotee, generally, who is little more intelligent, doesn't ask for that. He may have desire. Okay, I have desired Krishna, but I will not work in that direction, and I don't want you to fulfill the desire. I want you to give me pure devotional service. Because you know what happens? When whole life you pray, Krishna, please give me pure devotion, and finally your tapasya is actually ripened and Krishna is about to give you, then you say, Krishna, give me a beautiful wife. Here, you take this. So, An intelligent devotee doesn't ask Krishna anything other than pure devotional service. We may have desire, yes, like one time one devotee told Prabhupada, um, you know, uh, I desire, what he said, Prabhupada, a sannyasi disciple, he told Prabhupada, I saw my wife in dream. Prabhupada says, so what? Even I saw my wife in dream yesterday. So even as a sannyasi, you may have, even a sannyasi may have desires, but he doesn't work in the direction to fulfill those desires. So devotee, intelligent devotee should not work in the direction of fulfilling material aspirations, because you know what? When we work very hard to fulfill something material, it is going to bring only frustration, because material fulfillments are source of frustration. No? You want to add something?
I was just thinking you'd be sitting under a tree if I wasn't in your life. No. So I think the most important aspect that you asked here is whether we should ask from demigods or we should ask from Krishna. So in the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, or in the pastime of, in any pastime that you take in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are several devotees that had desires. But when they expressed their desire to Krishna, not only did they receive it, but they were also purified. So if we have desires and we have the aspiration to have them fulfilled, then no need to go anywhere else. Because when we ask Krishna, he will fulfill our desires and also purify us from those desires. So especially in the pastime where, even Indra, he started to serve Diti. He started to serve Diti, with the desire to actually destroy her embryo, destroy the womb. And at the same time, Diti was allowing him to serve her. But because they were both engaged in worshipping Lord Vishnu, they were both purified. And the culmination of this whole pastime was beneficial for both. So they were freed from the desire. At the same time, their devotion was strengthened. The animosity was lost.
So we can Krishna gives desire after purification or before purification?
Sorry, what did you say? Krishna?
Yes, Krishna fulfills desire after purification. If he fulfills before purification, that your desire will become purification. Harsha Shok. So you might as well after purification. Because otherwise the process will become purification. You will get Harsha Shok.
Those are details, whether before or after. Krishna knows exactly what is best. Yes, Madhi.
Don't ask him to test you. Simply because we are not Kunti Maharani. We cannot say that, let all the obstacles that were in my life continue to come. And she didn't have simple obstacles like us, losing a job or something. She really had obstacles in her life, life-threatening obstacles. But she desired for them to be again and again in her life because that brought Krishna closer to them and them closer to Krishna. But because we don't have so much strength, ability, and tolerance that those austerities will actually bring us closer to Krishna, then no need to unnecessarily ask for. Because of the course of material nature, anyway they're going to come. You don't have to do special request. They will come irrespective of us asking or not. Like day and night. We don't have to ask for day and we don't have to ask for night. They will automatically come. Even in Braj, in Vrindavan, the Babaji is there. If one day they're begging and they don't get food, what do they tell? He said, Bhuke pet hoy na bhajan gopala, leja apni kanthi mala. Today you didn't give me food. So take your kanthi and mala, I don't want. First give me food. So this is the Babaji's mood, This is austerity enough, but you're supposed to take care of me. That is, of course, the Brajvasis. So we don't actually need any extra special request.
Prabhuji, do you have time for one? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Beautiful narration. Thank you very, very much. So just one comment and then one question. So Lord Shiva's external form has a lot of inauspicious elements, like you pointed out, the ashes from the crematorium, etc. But at the same time, Lord Shiva is abode of all auspiciousness. And in Sri Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas Ji has fairly long passages on the Nam Mahima, the power of Lord Ram's name. And there is a chopai that attributes Lord Shiva's being an abode of auspiciousness to his always being engrossed in chanting the Lord's holy name. So probably the question back to is, you talked about Vidhata, Vidhi, writing your destiny. How does this kind of interplay with some of the questions that just came up? If I ask Krishna for a benediction, or I ask for his grace, or I ask for love at his lotus feet, that versus the role of what Vidhata has written?
That's a very good question, Prabhu. So, Brahma, he is not a ordinary, person writing everybody's life. He is Shaktavesh avatar of the Lord. He's Guna avatar. He is empowered by Krishna to write everyone's destiny. So writing destiny means he can precisely predict what a person will desire at what point of time in life. One thing he cannot predict is devotional desires. A person developing desire for devotional service, that he cannot predict. That is a living entity's completely free choice, free will. But all the material desires, the aspirations, because Brahma knows what kind of mindset we have, which situation we will go through and how our mind will react to it, what kind of desires we'll develop, he knows perfectly well, because he is the one who has manipulated all the ingredients, including mind, intelligence, ego, to create the different bodies. Okay. So he knows how the material energy exactly functions, how the material body, the material mind, the material intelligence and false ego functions. He knows complete intricate details of it, and all the combinations of different interactions he knows very well. So he knows, okay, this person has this kind of mindset. When he gets married to this person of mindset, what kind of desires they will develop, what kind of action they will take, he knows perfectly well. And that's why he's able to write the destiny of each and every living entity. Okay. But what he cannot write is the spiritual aspirations, developing love and devotion for Krishna, or dedicating one's life or devotion to Krishna, and that he cannot predict. That is something we make a choice. We use our free will to. Okay? But everything else he can. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Let's finish first the questions here. Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, you are talking about birth of Kartikeya. Shiva's Sojas was carried by Agni, and then through those 6 women, he got 6 eggs.
Kritikas.
Kritikas, yeah. And recently we were reading about this Indra cutting the embryo of Diti, and 49 Marus got born. And in Mahabharata also, when from the embryo, how the 100 Kauravas were born.
Yeah.
So generally, we know that generally a soul takes shelter in the womb of a mother, and then the embryo starts developing. And when Indra cut the embryo into pieces, suddenly the 49 Marus came into appearance. So is that, I mean, that should be taken as a special case, or how do we understand that, bro?
Well, as we were discussing, right, Vidhata, Brahma decides who will take birth where and how he'll take the birth, right? So, in general, there are 4 ways of birth in this world. You know, Garbhaja, Bija, Shvetaja, and Andaja. There are 4 ways living entities take birth, right? But there are some other ways also, like the worms, right? The worms you cut into 2, both become alive. So that time another worm takes birth, right? So there are similarly special cases in the case of, like, Gandhari, putting hitting a stone to her womb, and the dead piece of flesh appears. But then Vyasdev, taking a pity on her, he took that piece of flesh, which was divided into 100 parts, and soaked them into the pots of ghee. And through his powers, because Vyasdev is incarnation of Lord Narayan, so through his power, he actually brought those 100 pieces of flesh into life. And that was, of course, special case. Similarly, in the case of Diti, because she was performing devotional service, and she had a performed devotional service with the desire to have a child, and that somehow the child was cut into 49 pieces. 49 children were born. So it's a special case. It will not happen in regular cases. This is a special case, extraordinary case.
Also, those 49 born, they have the devotional qualities. They're not like
Yes.
the asuric mentality of the
Yeah.
sons.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Praveen Prabhu, we can go for online.
This is a question from Ayushi Mataji. What should be our meditation when we go to Shakti Pitas?
What should be our meditation when we go to Shakti Pita? Well, the meditation is always the same that we discussed at the beginning and towards the end of our session, is that we always pray to Mother Durga that remove all the obstacles from our path of Krishna consciousness, and let us develop unflinching love and devotion for Shishi Radha and Krishna. So anything that is taking me away from devotion, that hindrance you please remove, and let me develop love and devotion for Shishi Radha and Krishna. With this meditation, we should visit or even celebrate Navaratri. Hare Krishna. So I think we'll stop here. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for gracing our house with your presence. We are so fortunate to have you all here. And I was having a toddler meltdown, so we forgot the garland in the beginning. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Praveen Prabhu, as always, for being there, for the online devotees, and for your support. Thank you, Vijay Prabhu, for giving us the opportunity to serve our devotees and community and everyone. We are so blessed to have this event. Uh, it's nothing. I don't know. Nothing feels enough. So please tell us how we can serve you better.
We may not realize, we just come and get together and do the program and go away, but it creates like a storm in the lives of devotees who actually open their home. Before and after, yes.
Yes, I've just been cleaning for 1 week. And it didn't matter because my kids, anyway, they put stuff everywhere. Yes. But it's like a meditation because I was constantly thinking about the devotees and how I can best make like more space and less cars and toys. So that was good meditation.
Thank you, Madani.
Thank you. The prasadam is served. Thank you so much, everyone.
Hare Krishna. I wanted to share one fact about Aditi Mataji and Prabhu. So now it is Navaratri going on, so we can think that because of the festivities, the lights are on like that, like just Deepavali. But last time we were here for Bhakti Vriksha program, and there was no special day. Still, it was similarly decorated. So I really got amazed to see how enthusiastic she is to decorate the whole home to welcome the devotees. So all glories to her enthusiasm.
Thank you, Shankaranand Prabhu and Govinda Priya Mataji for coming all the way from Sacramento and regularly giving us your association. We are looking forward all the time for this. And Haribo. And thank you, Aditi Mataji, for opening your home. You have very beautifully decorated and placed all the Bhagavad Gitas and decorating the garden, opening your house for all the devotees to come in. Thank you so much. Let's loudly chant Haribol for the host. And finally, the cooks who have done for prasadam, Aditi Mataji. Krupa Mataji, Sakshi Gupta, Aditi Singh, Vrajanath Das. I was thinking my name. Govinda Priya Mataji, Mahua, and Simi Mataji. Thank you so much.
Shari